Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's session. My name is Erica Thunder, and I'm a strategy specialist with the Data and Information System Consultation Center, or DISC. And along with other staff from our team, we will be sharing information about intensive consultation opportunities for CCDF lead agencies. Before we kick off, we'd like to know who all might be in the room today, just to get to know you a little bit better. And so we have added a poll, and I will just, it just popped up. So if you could answer that, take the time, and we'll just quickly do that. I'll also just say I'd like to introduce the other presenters who will be speaking today, and they are my fellow strategy specialists, Crystal Robinson and Raymond Phillips. And we'll let this poll go just a little bit longer. And then I'll jump into the agenda for the day. All right, so we have results there.
Yes, it looks like the majority of the participants today or some kind of other, or we have at least 5 people who are CCDF administrators, are co-administrators, and we have representation today from state CCDF lead agencies and tribal CCDF lead agencies.
Thank you, Shannon. So moving forward into the agenda, and before we get into our specific content for today, we'll talk a little bit about the Data Information System Consultation Center, or DISC for short. We'll also discuss what an IT strategic roadmap is and why it could be helpful for CCDF lead agencies. We'll discuss the intensive consultation opportunity, including its benefits. From there, we will provide an overview of the IT strategic roadmap development process and the application. Lastly, we'll discuss the IT roadmap implementation process and the application for the technical assistance. We'd like to start off with sharing a little bit more about our center. The Data Information System Consultation Center, DISC, is here to support all CCDF lead agencies in their information technology efforts that will drive better user experiences, increase access to childcare, and achieve more equitable outcomes for children, families, and providers. There are many aspects to achieving these goals, and IT systems lives at the center of those efforts. DISC aligns and expands on some of the ACF strategic plan goals, such as advancing equity, taking a proactive approach to ensure that data can help support a continuous quality improvement process, and high-quality programming for families that enables and promotes innovation within ACF by facilitating the development of new and innovative uses of technology. The DISC team includes staff with expertise in technology, childcare, strategy, and project management to provide a well-rounded approach in serving CCDF lead agencies. DISC can be a valuable resource as CCDF lead agencies enhance efficiency with their business processes, and we are available to support new or existing IT strategic plans. Core to our mission is to help CCDF lead agencies develop and implement IT strategic roadmaps to plan and envision what technology initiatives are needed, how to prioritize them, what technology best practices should be used, and how to plan for the execution and implementation of these technology programs and an overall strategic roadmap. IT and data system improvements will benefit the families and providers served. DISC aims for technology to work for the needs for each individual CCDF lead agency for the long term, so that any required enhancements or changes can happen with the proper amount of planning. Some of the specific objectives of DISCs are to enhance family and provider access to obtain accurate, accessible, quality, and timely data, improve and streamline online access to systems, provide convenient and ease of access to the information, improve the time between applying for and accessing services, as well as reducing the burden for providers to receive subsidy payments or licensing and professional development information. And lastly, overall improvement of the technology solutions that support key CCDF functions of the agency. DISC follows 4 key principles as we plan and deliver technical assistance. The first is human-centered design that puts the end user, such as families and providers, at the center of any design or problem-solving process. This approach incorporates lived experience to inform how processes are created and improved. Human-centered design makes resources or services easy to use, responsive and aligned to the needs of providers, families, and children. Secondly, equity is core to everything that we do, from how we serve CCDF lead agencies, to the resources and services that we build, to how much we design and develop our toolkits and informational resources. DISC supports the flexibility CCDF agencies have to choose, adapt, and tailor technology solutions to family and providers' needs. DISC has an IT strategic framework to share with CCDF lead agencies as a foundation for our work. The framework includes 10 technology categories or domains in which we focus our technical assistance. These domain areas range from IT project management to IT procurement, IT data and analytics, and IT user experience. Our last and fourth tenet may sound familiar. You may have heard the term agile as related to technology. This means that we will work in a manner that promotes collaboration, flexibility, and quickly respond to change. As such, we will serve as an agile partner for CCDF lead agencies, from how we approach intensive consultation to the recommendations we make on how to implement systems, to how we prioritize and implement changes as needed when requirements arise. These 4 guiding principles apply to the resources and services we provide to the CCDF lead agencies. Intensive consultation is DISC's individualized TA service that looks to make large-scale and long-term impacts on how technology is used to implement CCDF and ensure your program operates in the best way possible for each lead agency's constituents. We understand the opportunities lead agencies are facing with updating, enhancing, or rolling out new systems. Intensive consultation provides an opportunity to work one-on-one with new subject matter experts in IT systems, technology, data, and CCDF operations using iterative, human-centered design techniques to develop and implement an IT strategic roadmap that reflects your unique data and IT needs and aims to improve experiences for families and children. Intensive consultation is a free service to all lead agencies. Intensive consultation is a relationship-based service where DISC works with lead agencies to help achieve your IT and data system goals. These goals, in the end, create better access, outcomes, and user experiences for families and providers. Intensive consultation is to be used in 2 phases. The first phase is the IT strategic roadmap development. During this phase, lead agencies will work with a dedicated team of DISC subject matter experts and consultants for approximately 6 to 9 months to develop an IT strategic roadmap related to improving, enhancing, and/or building out IT and data systems to meet the specific needs of lead agencies, families, and providers. The second phase is IT strategic roadmap implementation. During the second phase, select lead agencies will continue working with a dedicated DISC team. The team will provide ongoing support and consultation services at no cost for up to an additional 24 months as they take actions to implement priority aspects of their IT strategic roadmap. The application for intensive consultation is available now through November 22nd, and collaboration between DISC and the selected lead agencies is expected to begin in winter of 2025 to develop IT strategic roadmaps. Approximately 25 lead agencies will be selected for development consultation, and up to 10 lead agencies at a time will receive implementation consultation. Our staff comes from diverse backgrounds in both the public and private sector. Our IT staff have experience building out data and IT systems, as well as strategizing IT modernization efforts for large organizations. In addition, our childcare specialists have years of experience working at childcare programs for lead agencies across the country with OCC and understand the unique IT needs and challenges in administering the CCDF program. The DISC team is organized into pods, which are multidisciplinary teams that provide technical assistance to CCDF lead agencies. The program management work stream looks like overseeing project and program management, ensuring alignment with strategic goals and adherence to quality standards. The PMO manages timelines, resources, risks, and communication, enabling effective delivery of service across the project. The strategy work stream co-leads the pod, focusing on consulting and strategy. They manage client engagement, project deliverables, and ensure solutions align with strategic goals and regulatory frameworks, supporting targeted TA solutions. The technology workstream co-leads the pod, driving IT strategy, system integration, and technology innovation. They ensure solutions meet technical standards, mitigate risk, and support the project lifecycle, including IT, environmental scans, and tribal listening sessions. The childcare work stream provides expertise in childcare policies and standards, ensuring projects comply with guidelines and address key needs in the childcare system. They support the pod in delivering universal TA solutions. For the purposes of intensive consultation, each lead agency will work with one pod, including a consultation, strategy specialist, technology specialist, and childcare specialist. Each pod is also supported by a business analyst from our project management office. Each pod will work collaboratively throughout the intensive consultation process. The strategy consultant will work in tandem with a childcare subject matter expert and a technology subject matter expert to develop IT strategic roadmaps. Strategy and technology will provide the majority of the contributions, but childcare will be the linchpin, essential role to the success of the strategy creation. They will make sure that we can meet lead agencies where you are and develop strategies based on your unique environments. You may be asking yourself, what is an IT strategic roadmap? An IT strategic roadmap is a document that, one, details key goals for implementing improved IT and data systems. Two, outlines the initiatives and steps necessary to achieve these goals. Three, defines the timelines in which those initiatives need to be completed to move towards the goals. And four, identifies dependencies and potential obstacles for implementing improved IT and data systems that meet CCDF requirements. Roadmaps are developed to give leaders an overarching plan and strategies for designing new IT and data systems, upgrading existing IT and data systems, and identifying which technologies are best suited to meet the organization's needs. An IT strategic roadmap helps get organizations from where they are to where they want to be with data and IT systems, because without a roadmap, Many people get lost along the way and end up taking a route that may not get them where they want to be, or also may take them longer to get there and cost more money. An IT strategic plan can provide a roadmap for an organization's IT investments and operations. Ultimately, this answers the question of what IT changes are needed to support organizational goals and strategy and create value for each lead agency. It can help align with lead agency goals, prioritize initiatives, improve operational efficiency, and reduce costs. Having an IT strategic plan also helps create a base for conversations within the lead agency. Once everyone has a basic understanding of where the lead agency wants to go, problems or questions can be addressed more quickly. Additionally, an IT strategic plan can help organizations, better manage IT risks and cybersecurity threats. This can also help lead agencies be better prepared for unexpected changes and emergencies. Lastly, we know that lead agency staff need to have well-defined goals and priorities to make any kind of budget or financial requests. An IT strategic plan can help lead agencies communicate intentions for investments and articulate the justification for any additional cost to funders. Outside of budget requests, having a documented plan allows lead agency staff to have conversations with key partners and constituents about strategic goals directly. And with that, I'll pass it off to my colleague, Crystal Robinson, to talk about the IT strategic roadmap development process. Thank you.
Thanks, Erica. Let's dive into the IT strategic roadmap development process. IT strategic roadmap development will follow these 5 steps over the course of approximately 6 to 9 months. Frequent collaboration will occur between DISC and the selected CCDF lead agencies during each step. First, we'll engage key players and document current states. This will include identifying key roles and meeting with key staff to set expectations and understand the current state of the lead agency's CCDF systems. Then we will document the future state. We'll determine future state goals and rank those goals to aid in decision-making, then benchmark those goals to estimate potential outcomes and measure performance. From there, we'll also identify gaps and opportunities. We will analyze your data and IT systems impacting business needs and objectives to find strengths and weaknesses, as well as identify dependencies such as business process reengineering, infrastructure upgrades, organizational alignment, hiring, etc. We'll then move on to identifying IT strategic roadmap initiatives. We will rank any gaps based on impact to the lead agency's goals, identify projects to fill those gaps. We'll also assess resources, estimate cost and timeframes, and sequence projects based on dependencies. Lastly, we'll work on documenting the IT strategic roadmap. We will draft the IT strategic roadmap to present to key staff for feedback and solicitation, and incorporate any changes before publishing a final IT strategic roadmap. You'll notice that on this slide, steps 1 and 3 have stars next to them. This is to indicate that these 2 steps are where lead agency staff will engage with DISC directly and more intensively than in other steps. We would also like to mention that the DISC team may be able to visit lead agencies on site during some of these steps to provide TA when appropriate. It's also important to note that all of the timelines here are estimates and that more intensive projects may require additional time and additional engagement from lead agencies. Throughout the first step and future steps, we'll be using templates and documents that DISC has developed to help lead agencies document their current state. We know that to implement the CCDF program, it requires working with many individuals, key partners, and vendors to manage or modernize data and IT systems. Because of that, the first step in the IT strategic roadmap development process is to engage those key players. This will look like defining key roles and key people, setting expectations about the roadmap development process with them, and discussing the value of the roadmap to these key players. We will also meet and conduct interviews with key players to understand the current state of data and IT systems, as well as the goals and aspirations they have for the system as well. This will allow the intensive consultation team to understand the current state of CCDF data and IT systems, identify any competing business needs or priorities, and allow us to map goals to CCDF plans. In this step, we will be collecting information on the lead agency's system, infrastructure, applications, security, and processes. From there, we will work to document a governance framework for reporting and decision-making. We anticipate this will take 10 to 12 weeks to accomplish. After we identify some of the goals and aspirations that key partners have for the data and IT system, we will work with lead agencies to identify specific goals for cost, growth, and efficiency, while also considering system risk and cybersecurity. Think about where are you now and where do you want to be? This will include identifying current IT and data system business needs as well as IT objectives. We will then support CCDF lead agencies in benchmarking those goals to potential outcomes and also rank and weigh them in decision-making. We anticipate this will take approximately 4 to 6 weeks. In step 3, we will work with lead agencies to identify gaps and opportunities. We will work to analyze IT and data systems for specific opportunities and gaps in relationship to the goals identified in step 2. During this step, we will categorize the gaps and opportunities into themes and prioritize them through determining what is considered a high impact or high value item that needs attention, or things to do versus things to fix. We will also work with lead agencies to identify dependencies and other factors that might impact the ability to achieve their data and IT system goals. We anticipate this phase will take approximately 3 to 6 weeks. Step 4 is where the rubber really starts to meet the road. The consulting team will work with CCDF lead agencies to rank the gaps based on the impact they have on the agency's goals. We will work to brainstorm what potential projects could fill those gaps and how the lead agency might also generate some quick wins. Additionally, we will assess any resource or contract gaps, including costs and timeframes. From there, we'll work with CCDF lead agency staff to sequence projects based on those dependencies, and we anticipate this phase will take approximately 6 to 8 weeks. Step 5 is where the strategic roadmap really comes to life. The consultation team will draft the strategic roadmap and present this to key people for insights and feedback. From there, we will continue to iterate the plan based on the needs and requests of the lead agency. From there, we will finalize the roadmap for lead agency use. This finalized tool can be a great resource to communicate the goals for the data and IT systems to constituents and other key partners. I know I just shared a lot of information, and I just want to pause here to allow for any questions that the group might have. Just want to hold a little bit of space because, again, we know that that's a lot of information in a short amount of time. Meredith, can you see if we have anything in the chat?
Nothing in the chat box other than the earlier question about will the recording and PowerPoint be available, to which the answer is yes, it should be up within a few days.
Perfect. Thank you, Meredith. I will say that if you do have any additional questions as you consider this TA opportunity, we are more than happy to answer any questions or set up individual calls. You're also welcome to reach out to your regional offices, or you can email us directly. We'll have our email address and contact information throughout the presentation as well. And then just a friendly reminder that the application period runs now until November 22nd. But from here, we'll move on to the application specifically. So with all that information, you might be saying to yourself, that sounds great, and something like my lead agency will definitely want to do. So how do I apply? All state, territory, and tribal CCDF lead agencies are eligible and encouraged to request intensive consultation. There will be a short form where lead agencies will answer a few questions related to your data and IT system goals. There are a few prerequisites to participate in intensive consultation. Lead agencies must have and consider the dedication of resources to achieve your IT goals, which includes a commitment of appropriate budget allocations and management staff from IT, business operations, finance, and policy who have both the time and expertise to participate. You'll also need sponsorship from executive leadership within the organization and from outside entities outside of the CCDF lead agency necessary to complete your IT goals. These individuals should have the authority to make both short-term and long-term decisions during planning and implementation processes. Lead agencies need to identify a champion for the IT strategic roadmap development and implementation who will help identify appropriate staff and resources to accomplish the work. Lead agencies should also identify any outside entities necessary to achieve these goals and ensure their availability to participate throughout the program. For example, this could include other state, territory, or tribal government agencies or offices involved in CCDF administration, non-governmental entities such as universities or childcare resource and referral partners, entities that have MOUs or data governance or sharing agreements with the CCDF lead agency. And lastly, we'd ask that you consider any other competing priorities or factors over the next several years that may prevent full participation. Lead agencies will need to have some information to complete the application for intensive consultation. The leadership sponsor will champion the agency's IT roadmap within the organization and with partner entities outside of the CCDF lead agency needed to complete these IT goals. The leadership sponsor must have the authority to make the short and long-term decisions during planning and implementation processes and can appropriate staff and resources to accomplish the work. You will also need to identify the CCDF lead agency partners or contractors and ultimately all the staff necessary for this application. You should also include any other state, territory, or tribal government agencies or non-governmental lead agencies to accomplish the work. This will serve as the CCDF lead agency's management team for IT strategic roadmap development. Lead agencies can add as many key partners as necessary. There is an opportunity to also upload any IT strategic roadmaps, strategic plans, or IT needs assessments that the lead agency may already have. Lead agencies may use intensive consultation to refine, revise, or replace existing plans. This application also asks to identify any current IT projects or initiatives underway or ones that are planned within the next year. This will help the DISC team understand the agency's priorities upfront. The application also asks whether the lead agency is planning to address any non-compliances or implement aspects of the 2024 CCDF final rule through IT enhancements that may come through the consultation process. DISC will review all application responses, consider several data sources that provide additional information on each lead agency, and make recommendations to the Office of Childcare, who will make all final selections. OCC will select up to 25 participants to participate in the IT strategic roadmap development. Considerations will be made based on the impact of the request, providing equity for tribes and territories to ensure those interested will be able to participate, distribution across multiple regions, review of the improper payments report, 2024 CCDF final rule impacts, CCDF compliance, resource allocations, and other priorities identified by OCC. Initial contact between DISC and the selected CCDF lead agencies will occur following OCC's written notification of selection to introduce the teams and sign TA agreements. After the IT strategic roadmaps are created, those lead agencies may apply for additional consultation in the implementation of those roadmaps. Now I'll pass it to my colleague Ray Phillips to share more about roadmap implementation support.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Now let's discuss the application for roadmap implementation. In addition to having the sponsor and staff vendors necessary, lead agencies will need to describe the priority of IT system goals and/or projects identified in the roadmap that the lead agency would like to accomplish through DISC's IT strategic roadmap implementation consultation, including the desired future state of any impacted systems. They'll need to specify the types of assistance and consultation needed from the DISC team to achieve the priority IT goals and projects, including the desired timeframe. Additionally, lead agencies will need to share how their plan or the implementation of their roadmap will increase equal access to childcare services for both families and providers. In addition, lead agencies will need to share how the implementation consultation will improve the user experience of families and or providers in IT and data system projects. Next, lead agencies will also share how the implementation consultation will improve data integration and or interoperability across systems. Now, this could include data sharing between different program systems such as TANF, SNAP, Head Start, etc., or connecting systems within the CCDF structure. And then, as a last part to identifying sponsors and vendors necessary, lead agencies will be asked to share any changes to governing policies, rules, or regulations that would need approval prior to the starting the IT and data systems projects related to the request. Now, there will be a few additional questions that will ask for details regarding the resources to be allocated throughout the proposed consultation period. These include whether the lead agency has the staff available to accomplish the desired goals and projects of the consultation period, or if the IT strategic roadmap requires hiring new staff, training existing staff, or procuring additional assistance from outside entities. Lead agencies will also be asked to describe the specific budget amounts allocated for this work and identify the funding source. CCDBG funds, quality set aside, state funds, etc. And lastly, lead agencies will be asked to identify all potential roadblocks, risks, or constraints that could hinder the completion of the proposal and consider whether the lead agency's overall priorities give room for this work over the desired consultation period. Some examples may include administration changes, known staff turnover, reprioritization of CCDF lead agency objectives or budget allocations, or difficulty sharing data across agencies. At the conclusion of the IT strategic roadmap development efforts, the lead agencies involved will have the opportunity to apply for ongoing consultation and support services from DISC to achieve priority aspects of the plan over an agreed upon consultation period of up to 24 months. The application will allow DISC to evaluate the lead agency's ability to implement and complete the initiatives within the IT strategic roadmap in an agreed upon timeframe. This application will ask for specific details about staffing and resources needed to accomplish the priority portions of the IT strategic roadmap and roadblocks or risks that may hinder the work. CCDF lead agencies will be asked to describe how the projects align with key OCC priorities. Now, DISC will review the applications and evaluate the scope of the project, readiness of the CCDF lead agency, and potential impact of the project to recommend up to 10 lead agencies at a time who will be provided ongoing consultation. OCC will determine and notify the participating CCDF lead agencies. So let's dig into roadmap implementation process. Once a CCDF lead agency and DISC have completed an IT strategic roadmap, DISC will continue providing ongoing support for up to 10 lead agencies at a time as you begin implementing priority parts of your roadmap. DISC consultants will act as a partner throughout various activities to help each lead agency manage aspects of the roadmap implementation and ensure that any changes made to your CCDF data and IT systems will provide lasting and long-term benefits to children, families, and providers served. In the second phase of intensive consultation, the DISC team consults and collaborates side by side with lead agencies as you work on implementing your IT strategic roadmap. This period will require regular collaboration between the DISC team and CCDF lead agency team to create individual work plans. The collaboration will occur through virtual meetings and potential on-site visits. The frequency and number of meetings will be determined through the review of the IT strategic roadmap and initial conversations with each selected CCDF lead agency to tailor the type of support required to achieve the desired outcomes. Implementation will look different for each selected agency, but will follow a standard set of steps. Key staff will need to be involved to review expectations and document project goals, scope, timeline, and budgetary considerations. Specific planning will then need to take place to define activities, assignment, and due dates for work products. The last step will be the delivery of any work products and perform analysis to ensure that it has met the expected outcomes. So, what might the second phase of intensive consultation look like? This can be a partner in determining the best types of system modifications or changes that might need to be made in specific programs to support the 2024 CCDF final rule. We know that many CCDF lead agencies will need system changes to make enrollment based eligibility and payments a reality, and DISC is here to support the necessary IT enhancements. We can also help design projects to improve access to quality data so the data dashboards can be created that enables data-driven decision making. Maybe the lead agency's goal is to improve the lead agency's online presence to be more user-friendly in providing data and information to families and providers. Some lead agencies may want consultation on how to contract with IT vendors, determine requirements for data and functionality, and train staff for continuous system support. We want to help you plan for and achieve your aspirational IT and data system goals for the future. Now, just for clarification, there are a few services that DISC will not be able to provide. We will not be able to, we will not be able to participate in source selection of IT services, the direct hiring of staff, the direct development of data management and IT systems, the writing, developing, or supporting system code, purchasing or funding of hardware or software, or granting policy approval or policy directive issuance. Now, we are eager to hear what questions you might have, so we will go to the chat to see if we have any. Meredith, are there any questions in the chat?
Nothing new in the chat box. We did put in the chat box a link to our webpage where you can find the application and more information.
Thank you so much. I'll give it just a couple more seconds to see if we have any activity in the chat, and then we will continue. Now, I know Crystal mentioned this earlier, but if you have any questions as you consider this TA opportunity, we are extremely happy and eager to answer your questions, set up individual calls with you to provide additional information. So please feel free to reach out to your regional offices or email us directly, and our contact information will be provided at the end of the webinar, as well as it's provided in the chat. And as a reminder, the application period runs from now until November 22nd, 2024, and it is at no additional charge to lead agencies. Now, DISC looks forward to serving lead agencies in federal fiscal year 2025. And at the moment, we have a tentative schedule of technical assistance that you'll see on your screen here. We'll be sharing more information on intensive consultation and continuing our IT matters listening sessions and IT fundamentals. We also have a few toolkits that we look forward to sharing with you as well. We also anticipate launching a community of practice for IT professionals working with the CCDF program. And more information on these resources and events will be available soon. So I know we have spent the last 40 minutes going over a plethora of information, and it can be a lot to take in. So with that, we want you to leave here with three main takeaways. Think of an IT strategic roadmap as a lesson plan to implement your curriculum in a childcare program. And with that being said, the application, as a reminder, for intensive consultation is open now until November 22nd. DISC's intensive consultation will begin in the Q2 of the federal fiscal year 25, or winter of fiscal year 2025. And if you have any questions about DISC's intensive consultation, please do not hesitate to reach out. And at this time, we really appreciate you spending your hour, your lunch break, or your work day with us, a little bit of your work day with us. And we are going to launch our closing poll. Please take the time to answer the short 5-question poll. And once you have it completed, you can exit the webinar, or you can stay to obtain our contact information on our very last slide. We'll give it a couple more minutes for response to the poll. And a quick point of clarification when we're talking about the the fiscal year 2025, we are talking about the federal fiscal year. We saw a message come through the chat. We'll give it a couple more minutes as you all are filling out the closing poll, and also open it up to any questions you may have as you're filling that out that may have sparked your brain.
And this is the conclusion of the webinar. The poll will remain open. Once you complete the poll, you are welcome to exit the webinar. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll remain online for another 5 minutes or so to answer those questions for you.
Thanks, Shannon. Do we have any questions in the chat?
Not at this time.
Okay.